This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Today we are actually doing a little bit of a paint class. I'm going to show you how to paint the skeletons for Dark Souls, the board game. Now, why skeletons? We'll talk more on the other side of this, but I got these all done and ready to go for our live playthrough, and we're going to be doing another video on some of the players and some of the characters and the main boss. But right now, I just want to show you something, and we'll talk more on the other side. So let's go down to the table and get to work, and then I'll get you on the other side. The first thing that I did was I basically took some, it is color primer skeleton bone. And I took and I got all the skeletons, and well, basically I primed them bone. I mean, that's the best way to do it, right, folks? Just went over everything. I wasn't too worried about anything else because I knew that when I go over things, I was going to fix it. So there you go. That's how we got them primed up. It saves a big step, and you'll see why a little bit later. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some base catching flesh, and I'm just going to go over the areas like the bows here and the shields and part of the arrows. I'm just going to get that brown on there real nice, and just be very careful not to hit the face or anything, you know, especially after since you used up all that base spray, okay, to get that on there. You don't care if you get the arrow tip because you're going to be painting that anyways, and you're just going to want to get a nice good amount here, boom boom boom, and just cover this. Now I'm going to do the rest of these, okay, because we're not going to make this a very long video because skeletons are easy. Okay, and that's one of the fun things. I love painting skeletons, not because they're easy, because skeletons are just such a cool villain anyways. So there you go. I've got that ready, okay, and then I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to finish up the rest of these. As you can see, I painted the shields here, and I'm not going to worry about the swords or the tips. We're going to worry about that later. We're going to let this all dry, and we'll get these all caught up. Next, I'm going to use Iron Breaker. This is kind of like a lead belcher, and all I'm going to do is just hit the tips here. All right, I'm not too worried about getting them to perfection, just so the arrows have a little bit of a different play to it. There we go, boom, 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 boom. I also hit the shields a little bit right in the middle, so it has that little, just breaks it up a little bit. You want to hit most of the sword here. We're going to take care of the hilt later. I'm not too worried about that right this second. And I'm just going to finish those up, and then we'll be right back with our next step. Next, we're going to take some Retribution Armor. This is like one of my favorite colors of all because it just goes on so easily. And all I want to do is do the hilts here. So I want to be very careful, but I'm not. The reason I'm doing this now is because when I put the wash over this is going to help a lot, believe it or not. The wash and this Retribution Armor really go together well. So I'm going to do up all the hilts here on these things, and then I'm going to be right back as we are going to let this dry, and then guess what? We're going to start building these characters out. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Agrath Earthshade, and this is where you really build out, you know, you start to get some depth in there. And listen, washes make things so much easier. And you can see the skeleton here, it just has nothing until all of a sudden you just add this in there and you start working it in there. And I'm using this big dude here just because it really kind of shows what I'm trying to do here. And you really slobber this on here pretty good. This is another reason why I don't do the bases before I do my washes, because I kind of get it all over the place, and don't feel bad if you do the same. And you really want to work this in there and get it into all the recesses, because that's going to give you the depth, the light and shadow that so many people talk about when they do this type of stuff. It's about light and shadow, and that's how you're going to build. I mean, you could just throw a color on something and that's fine. But when you add your washes, that's what gives you depth. And that's the type of thing that you look for. You look for depth and light and how things hit things a certain way. And just really just makes things pop. And that's all we're trying to do right here. And just trying to hit a little bit of everything in here and really make that work in there. Make sure that we get in all these crevices. You don't want to leave anything out because you will notice it later on when it dries. And boom, I mean, that's all it is, folks. That's all it is. It's just getting that. Now, normally you could just let this dry and, you know, just paint the base a little bit, you know, if whatever kind of color, and you'd be off and running. But what I'm going to do is I want to bring a little bit more light and shadow in here. So I'm going to show you what to do there and how I'm going to do that after these all dry. Next thing I want to do very quickly is just get some uniform gray onto the bases. You know, for what we're doing with this, you want to keep it quick and clean. And after that whatchamacallit dries, it's just a real simple, just get it on there, work it around. It goes very well over that base. And all I want to do is just keep the bases nice and gray, very simple. Just get as close as I can to the feet without ruining anything, because I'm going to go over that anyways with our next step when we just highlight a little bit here. And boom, that's all I want to do. All right, just get those bases good enough so we can get them onto the board. They're not important. And so, I mean, you can go crazy and you can make some really nice tiles on here and do things. But for just, you want to play this fantastic game and you want to get them out there real quick, this is just a real quick way. Army Painter Uniform Gray is just perfect for this because it just goes over it and it goes on so well and thick right there. So I'm going to finish these up and then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you the last little step here and we'll be on our way. The next thing I want to do is I want to take some Screaming Skull here, okay? And what I'm going to do is, if you see, I've got this really nice dark base, but I really don't want to, and I'm using the little styrofoam here just to wipe off. I want to make sure that there's not a lot on this brush, and I just ever so lightly just want to go over the top of the bones here. Not too much. I don't want to take away that nice dark, I don't want to take away everything that I did here, okay? And forgive me because I got a new camera set up here and I'm trying to learn it again. And all I'm doing is just very lightly going over and just highlighting and bringing out and trying to make this a very, see how his feet start to pop? Everything starts to pop a little bit by just going over so lightly. And this is all you're looking to do, is just get a little bit of color here and have, you know, like a mixture. So it's kind of like a light and shadow and oldness and, you know, wear on the bones, and you know, you have that just old feel to it, and it really stands out quite a bit there. And making sure that you're just hitting this enough to bring this out. That's all you want to do. And you see, I'm still using the same brush. I'm going to come over to this guy here, okay, and do the same thing. And you could see where it's all going to, see how it starts to just sit up a little bit? And this is one of the great confidence builders for anybody that wants to start painting. Start with skeletons, because you start to really learn a little bit about depth and light perception, and it's just such an easy thing to do, and you get so much out of it. And this game here is just perfect for it. Dark Souls, first of all, you're gonna be playing a great game. Okay, let's get a smaller one just to show you. All right, so where it really kind of pops out there. And boom, 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 boom. And just go over there. Don't worry about hitting anything else. It doesn't hurt anything. Heck, you can just kind of go over the bow a little bit and it gives a little bit, all right? That little bit of white in there, okay? And really just use that brush, and as less paint goes on there, the harder you can use with the brush and try to get, because you don't want you don't want any paint on this brush at all, virtually, okay? And you know, you can see the difference. You can either do them very, very dark, or you can do them very, very light. It's what works for you. What is going to stand out for you. I like to just throw a little bit of the skeletal on there and really make these pop. So I'm gonna finish these up. That's gonna take care of how to do skeletons. It's really quick. You can have this whole set done in about 45 minutes. Really, really easy, you know, after you prime them, of course. And really, really be on your way to getting Dark Souls all set, which is just a fantastic set. So let's go up top, get on out of here, and we'll talk what we got next for you. Now, as you saw, just a very simple process, really easy to do, and you're going to get great quality. The reason I wanted to do these first is this board game is very special. Tomb of the Giants. You're definitely going to want to pick this up, especially if you're a beginner to painting. This is just a perfect. There's the right amount of figures to paint. You can get it done quickly in about an hour and a half, and get it to the table very quickly. And I think that's really, really important, especially if you're a beginner. You always want to start with something that you're going to get some real good gratification. This is very easy, very to the point, and very quick, and does a fantastic job of painting up very quickly and getting it to the table. And you're going to get that sense of pride, and it's going to help you to really keep going. Skeletons are the best, and it's the best thing to really develop your talents on. And this box is full of them, and really easy, to the point, bing, bang, boom, and you're off and running. We're going to be doing this live. We got another Dark Soul video coming up. We're going to be doing the main boss and the 3 characters. And after that, we're going to be doing a live playthrough for you of this fantastic, glorious experience from Steam Forge Games, who are just fantastic anyways. All right, folks, that's it. It just felt good to be painting again, even if it, you know, just to kind of show you guys, some of you beginners out there, just something to really motivate you and get you going. And until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you